Honestly, it's absolutely terrifying. You know, you take a very small group of people that understand how to really utilize AI, maybe 5% of the planet, and they're going to make 70% of the planet redundant. Unfortunately.
Young entrepreneurs sitting anywhere in the world with a laptop creating value in ways that have never existed before. Over the last 2 years, I've explored this world while working with online entrepreneurs to build on their personal brands. And it led me to tons of fascinating people. James Campbell is one of them. He's a 32-year-old entrepreneur that has built ventures across events, financial services, and the legal space. He's lost some, he took the lessons, and moved countries. And despite serious obstacles being thrown on his path, he just kept going and taught himself tech from scratch without any experience in code, with no degree, and came back so much stronger. Now being the CTO of a law firm and running multiple businesses, he just didn't allow the obstacles he faced to stop him, but instead used them to build his current journey. So in every episode of Behind the Brand, we're going to implement the actual learnings from the online entrepreneur that we spent the time with into BrandFlow, our very own personal branding agency. This is Behind the Brand, where we go behind the personal brands of online entrepreneurs to find out how they actually did it. And honestly, what we spoke about today changed the game for me. You lived a fucking life, man.
Oh yeah, man.
You lived multiple lives, bro.
Yeah, many lives, many places, many businesses, yeah.
Yeah. If I may, how old are you now?
32. Done a lot, bro.
Since when have you been like in the game?
So I started when I was studying, started an events company in Manchester.
Oh, that's where you're from?
Yeah. So that's where we threw our first parties. I ended up growing out. I did up 5 nights a week at one point, so that was good. Wanted to leave that to do something more challenging, went into financial services, did insurance, did mortgages.
And how did you end up in law?
I was making some good money, and a friend of mine come to me and said, why don't we start this call centre in claims? He said, I know how it works, and get the data, we can do all this. I said, okay, fine. So we hired loads of staff, we had some guy helping us. I was funding it, and I just lost loads of money in like 6 months. We had like 17 staff.
Mad.
We were like 21, we didn't have a clue what we were doing. And then another opportunity come around a few years later when I was doing the mortgages. Basically started off lead gen, packaging cases.
This is for like
for the legal
real
stuff. Built a call centre up in the UK. We had like, I don't know, 50, 60 staff. And then our main buyer went under, so we were screwed.
Mad.
So we sacked everyone. That's when I moved to South Africa, because it's cheap and we could hire people cheap. So we rebuilt everything here.
A call centre as well?
Yeah, same thing at the start. Then we got very tech focused, so built an app.
I'm wondering, bro, like from all these, like, bro, like you lived so many different lives.
Yeah.
So that's like, what is that, like 12 years ago, no?
No, well, yeah. 12 years ago I really started.
Yeah. While listening to James, I realized, damn, man really lived multiple lives. And while most people would have stopped meeting such obstacles, James moved countries and started again. Honestly, I can only respect that, and it inspires me a lot. So after the workout, I had to dive a level deeper. It's been intriguing, man, in speaking to you. And I think what we're talking about in the car, it's like you have all this knowledge that you accumulated throughout the years, but it seems normal to you, right? Where it's like, oh, we'll just do this or that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to understand what knowledge I've got. For me, it's just the knowledge I've got. So it's interesting when you guys tell me that it's interesting, my perspectives and the knowledge that I've acquired. Because it's hard for me to see that. Yeah. For me, it's just my thoughts every day. It's just the stuff I've done. But I think it's just about taking challenges head on, man. The more challenges you face, the more you learn. So it's like you end up kind of by accident going into like all this AI stuff and shit. Yeah. Because it's like you're just trying to work more fast than what you're given, and the process that people are doing it manually. And now you just discover that like in a weekend you do better than developers do for how many, like for time and time. But again, that comes down to effort and industry knowledge as well. Like one of the key things it comes down to when you're using AI to build something is understanding what the end product looks like before you start. So for me, products I've built is from industry experience that I've got. So I know what the problem is, I know how to solve it. So I can tell AI how to get there. Now for someone who's got that experience and is speaking to a developer who doesn't have it and they're trying to translate, you've got the translation from there to there and the translation from there into the code, and then you end up with the wrong product. So the key is, and again this is the key for the future, industry knowledge and understanding the problem and what the solution should look like becomes the most important factor, not the understanding syntax
and nitty-gritty of
file structures. I still like DevOps and things like that is still quite challenging. You know, I trust AI, but better to just get it double checked. So I have like a cloud engineer that supports me on that kind of stuff. But again, you don't need much time of it. You can build the fundamental part of it, 95% of it you can do very easily. And you just need to tidy up at the end, especially now with Opus 4.6. It's far above where it used to be.
Mad.
Yeah.
Mad, bro.
But I just find it fascinating how, one, this guy seems to have infinite energy, but
especially because it's so interesting what the AI era is doing, that the technical knowledge is becoming less and less important, which at first can seem like a limitation. But really, if you understand market, understand your ICP, you understand what people want and why they want it, what they would want it as, bro, the opportunities open up to anyone. So I'm learning a lot, and yeah, we're gonna go a bit deeper into it after the workout. Let's get it.
Solid, man. So you also building your own personal brand now, right? And like trying to transfer all this knowledge that you have, like how are you doing that at the moment exactly? Because I know you were busy with like the shorts, and like how's that?
Yeah, so I did loads of shorts. They went nowhere. So I kept filming them, kept posting, and then I looked at some of the other leaders in the space, in the shorts specifically, and I noticed that they probably have a lot more time than I do to stay on top of it. And I realized the community is short-lived. So I believe, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, people will come into the community. If you don't continue to deliver more and more value, then they might drop out. Now what I want to do is I'd rather just focus on individuals who know what they want to do, you know, so I want to build a more long-term community, which is why I'm going to steer more to YouTube.
Solid. But you've already, like, it sounds like you've already built like a personal brand. It's just not been online in public in that sense, right? It's like just been like network and right, because I hear that you do have substantial network of kind of your ICP as well, that you've already been helping, and like
I mean, I've got a friend here that's got an accountancy platform. Obviously, I know a lot of people in the space, in the legal space, financial services. So yeah, but it's not something, I've just been giving away information for free at the minute. You know, I've just been helping people, just, here, try this, got this. A friend of mine in Dubai asked me for some stuff, and it's some of the content I'd already filmed, so I sent him some videos he could watch. He said it helped him, it's good. I sent a guide to another friend of mine. He gave the guide to Claude Code, which is how to just do all the setup and get like Super Whisper set up and get Telegram set up and all this stuff. He gave it to Claude Code, and Claude Code did it. So that's kind of like...
So you sent him a guide on how to do it, gave it to Claude Code, and Claude Code just did the whole thing?
Yeah, with a bit of prompting, you know, a few things, but the guide was there. So if you think about how easy that is, it's just about understanding how easy things are. Again, is the challenge of the next decade.
You know, bro. Yeah, I need to get into this thing more, man. Oh my days, bro. Thanks so much, my guy, for your time and energy still.
It was good, man.
And the workout.
I really appreciate it.
Likewise, bro. So it's now 2 weeks after the recording we did with James, and I learned a lot. But learning and knowledge is useless when not put to the test. So in every episode of Behind the Brand, we're gonna implement the actual learnings from the online entrepreneur that we spent the time with into BrandFlow, our very own personal branding agency. So look, I was a noob when it comes to Claude Code. It was very easy just not to start with it because it seemed too big. But James changed my perspective on that, because he actually posed that any big problem is made up of very tiny little problems.
You know, the first iteration, 10th iteration, or even 100th time you try and do it, it might not work, but you just got to keep going until it does. Just have like resilience to know that one way is going to work.
It's like, I don't know what scientist said this, it's like if you've found 100 or 1,000 ways that doesn't work, it's like you've found 1,000 ways of cancelling out,
exactly,
you know, in order to get to the solution.
Exactly, yeah. It just means you're closer to where you need to be.
Yeah.
Unless you have a belief that something can't work, in which case don't even start.
yeah, fair enough. No, I see it, man. That's fascinating, bro. Especially the translation between, that's solid.
So right now within BrandFlow, a huge bottleneck for us is briefings. Being the creative content engine for personal brands, we write a lot of briefings. We need those briefings to be as clear as possible on the side of the editor, but as little input as possible on the side of the client. And so here's where our BrandFlow Briefing Builder was born. So I started off by asking Claude Chat by just saying, here's my problem, here's what I want to solve, and maybe this is a way of solving it, but perhaps you can give me a better way. And sometimes it's asking me for shit that I don't know what it means. You know what? I'm asking it to explain to me like I'm a 5-year-old what that means. And it is doing that. And so I'm gaining a level of understanding from having no background in any of this to actually being able to build a first version of our BrandFlow Briefing Builder. So on the left here, we have our interface. So let's say we are looking for an educational video. We want it to be quite raw, but we also just wanted to support the educational purposes by using a little bit of editing. making the information more digestible. And I'm meeting with the client and we're just gonna paste this meeting. And this is where it gets interesting because a lot of these options I didn't even think of, but I helped the AI to make me think of client language or how a video should feel, right? So for example, the pacing, should it be slow and deliberate? Should it be medium flow? Should it be fast and punchy? Or as someone that doesn't really understand video and therefore is going to say, yeah, the video needs to be cut every 2 seconds, and you need to switch between the A roll and B roll. No, I just want the video to be fast and punchy, right? Boom. B roll, I want none. Then music, I want background music only. The style of the music, I like lo-fi a bit, but you can also like maybe alterate with ambient. So those 2 genres I'm gonna go for. I want it to be landscape, it's a YouTube video, and I also want to pull short form clips. And then I just click briefing, I wait for a bit, and voila! That was about, how long was that? Like 30 seconds, a minute maybe? And then, yeah, it's gonna show a little bit of the info that we need here, but even better than that, it's gonna give a PDF file that I explicitly stated to make easy to read. So to include emojis, to include like visual hierarchy. Now, I do want to emphasize this is by no means a final version of what this software can be. However, proving that someone with no technical background at all can make this I made this in maybe like a couple hours, let alone if I would spend serious time on this. This is going to develop in a serious tool that is gonna decrease friction in our agency by a ton. This is one of the most intense steps in our whole creative process, translating that brief into clear, tangible, actionable brief. So for me, it taught me that everything is possible. It taught me that technical skills are becoming less valuable, but in some way that's actually a good thing, because if you have vision, if you understand what you need, why you need it, how it will work for you, it can do so much for you. It really opens up the world in ways that have never been possible before. So without further ado, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you gladly in the next one. Ciao.